Hello, this will be the final video, hopefully, before the beginning of the Dark Bowl League. All the teams are made, the league has been started, the first round games are set up, all the bets are in, and all the dream teams are made. So I thought I'd do a quick roundup of all those things, a couple of reminders, and then the league's begun. The first thing is all the dream teams are made. I've got some really interesting sides. We haven't had to worry about any duplicates. Because anyone that's duplicated, it's either even or there's no other player to choose from. So, all good there. As a matter of interest, on the Dream Teams, the most popular player, despite popular expectation of it being the high elf thrower by the name of Daredab Comet Snake. In fact, the most popular player, who was chosen by 5 players, so the most that could possibly have chosen him, since his own coach couldn't pick him, was Legs, the gutter runner. So well done on that Simpsons naming, Ben. No pressure on that player, but all 5 of the other coaches have chosen him in their teams. There have been a lot of players who've been chosen 4 times, though, so they should have an honourable mention. In the stochastic slashers, the Norse side, only 3 players were ever seemingly picked, and that was Algebra, Lenny R Systems, both of which are the Ulfenwerners, which were chosen 4 times each, and Trigonometry, the Snow Troll, who was picked 4 times as well. So all the big hitters in Matt's side, which I imagine was his idea because he didn't have any other positional players, so it was a good thinking. In FC Lothran, Dared Glab Comet Snake was picked 4 times. I wonder how much Ben deliberately didn't pick him so that he wouldn't be the 5th pick, so he wouldn't be up there with Legs, but we'll see. And of the 2 blitzers, Harubuak Iron Lizard was picked 4 times, so that's all but 1 coach again. Unfortunately, in Egyptian Disco, there weren't any 4 times picks, but that's because there are 4 Tomb Guardians to choose from, so people kind of split their votes. But there are 9 Tomb Guardians in people's dream teams, so when blood flows from them, it won't just be Alec that's cheering. In the Therusian Thunderers had the same issue with the number of Chaos Dwarf blockers they had. The picks just got spread between them, and the Bull Centaurs weren't consistently picked as much. Just behind Legs as the most popular player in the Dream Team was Squirt, the other gutter runner, who I can only imagine wasn't picked as often because Legs is a better name. Although a mention must go to Jack in choosing Squirtle, the Pokemon. I'd put you down for Squirt because I guess that's what you meant. And lastly, Average Tom's Gym. While the Chaos Ogre was popular, it's Javier Blunt, who is the most popular player on 4 choices of him, and that's the Dark Elf Renegade. So no pressure, but people are expecting a lot of passing and quite a few touchdowns from him. I should say the most popular team member in the Therusian Thunderers was Veric, the Bull Centaur, with 3 choices, and the most popular choice in the Egyptian Disco was Vicky, I want to get her second name right, Vicky Peterson, the Tomb Guardian, with 3 choices. So none of these Dream Team choices can change at all from this point. They are set in stone. If in the first game your player dies on a go for it, 0 SPP. Hard luck. If they die in the 4th game and they've built up 32 VP, you keep the 32, but you're not going to be gaining any more. So it should be really interesting that, obviously, with the design of the Dream Team, no Dream Team can be the same, but there is a lot of crossover, so particularly on Legs. So if he scores any touchdowns, Ben, you are not going to be the only person cheering. We've also got the matchups for the first round of the games, which I'm really interested. I think these are actually going to be some really good first round games. We've got Sean with the Therusian Thunderers, the Chaos Dwarf side, against Dan with Average Tom's Gym, the Chaos Pact side. So that will be a brutal game. 2 sides that both rely a lot on power, but at the same time, the Chaos Dwarves have the edge with so much block and high armor compared with their majority players with the Chaos Dwarf blockers. But Chaos Pact have got 8. No, 8. 5. 4. 5? 5 team rerolls, which will compensate for their lack of team skills. Whereas 5 team rerolls, whereas the Chaos Dwarves only have 1. So could be interesting. People's bets on that round. Both Jack and Matt have gone through a draw, which with no sure hands and a lot of blood is possible. Ben has gone with Dan to win the Chaos Pact team, and Alec has gone with Sean's Chaos Dwarves to win. So that game is completely split with the votes. Be very interesting. The second game is Ben with his Spikey's Blue Bits, the Skaven team, against Alec with his Egyptian Disco Khemri. You've got a real split here between the greasy speed of the Skaven and the slow and steady grind of the Khemri. Although there's no split on the betting in this round, everyone has gone for Spikey's Blue Bits, Ben's Skaven team, to win this. I think everyone's thinking those Goda runners are going to be too much with dodge against a Khemri team with no tackle. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of broken line rats though, so depending on how this goes, Ben might be struggling in his second game, but we'll see. And then the third game will be Jack with his FC Lothran High Elves against Matt with his Stochastic Slashers Norse team. In this time, we've had Sean and Dan have both thought that Jack is going to win, and Ben and Alec have both gone for a draw. I imagine here that they're leaning towards Jack's High Elves. He's the only AG4 side in the game. He's got a thrower, 2 blitzers, AV8 will hopefully stand up, but Matt really does have the edge with every player, with all his linesmen having block, that will compensate for the armour 7. The Ulthund Werner's not going to have anything to stand up to their strength 4, and the Snow Troll, with his claws, could very well have a field day, it's all down to the armour rolls. So I think it's going to be if Jack can keep those positional players alive, and if he can make sure that he just doesn't take too many injuries, because if you start off with a few bad games with the High Elves, you're going to be really struggling as their players are expensive to replace, and I think that's going to be one of the tightest games myself. I mean, Jack's got 11 players. He has got an apothecary though, so it will be a really, really interesting first round. So those are the first games. I have to say to the players, we're looking to play once, to play at least once a week, ideally. So hopefully the league starts this Monday. So hopefully by next Monday it'll be all finished. However, the second round we will not start the second round until the deadline for the start of the second round will be Monday the 18th of February, because that is the absolute cut-off point. I want everyone to play within a week, and basically once the last game has been played, we'll leave the period for people to re-put in their bets for the second round, because you need to see how these first games go, and then we'll say, right, games from this day again, and then there'll be ideally play within a week of them. And we're playing it fairly loose, but the most important thing is that people only play one game, then stop, because people need to put bets down on the second round, and that they need all the games to finish. I also think it's going to be quite nice just having that first round that everyone plays, rather than some people are on their third game and some people still haven't played their first. I don't really like that when that happens in leagues, and I think the betting thing requires this to be more structured. The other thing is a reminder about sportsmanship. These, after every game, as soon as you possibly can, players must message me privately with the sportsmanship score for their opponent. As a reminder of how sportsmanship works, it is 3 points if the person you played against gave you a really good match. Okay? It is 1 point if they gave you an average game, and it's 0 points if you felt less enjoyment from playing them. Okay? Now this is exceptionally subjective, because what some people like, other people won't like. Personally, when I play, I don't like to feel that the other person is like, oh, well, I won't block them because you're having a tough game. I'm not going to do that because you're struggling a bit. Personally, I like people to play full bore against me, and if somebody plays soft, that actually gives me less enjoyment. I really don't like. I mean, I really don't like people who excessively moan about their luck. I I have been as guilty about moaning about my luck as anyone. But what I try and do is I do try and balance it out. If I had a bad play, as long as I've got a good play, I like to think I can keep a good attitude. Some people like a lot of jokes, a little laughter. It's completely down to you. It is down to how you have interpreted that game. Think of it as this. 3 points to them is like them winning the game. So if they have behaved in a way that you think is the manner of a winner, something that you would want to see again, that's 3 points. 1 point is the same as a draw. It's not a result that makes anyone clap their hands with joy, but it's not going to really depress you either. You know, it's an average normal game. Perhaps they didn't hardly said anything. And 0 is a negative game. I mean, it's all completely subjective. But for me, fouling on the 16th turn, for instance, would be something that would be negative sportsmanship, because that has no benefit to that coach. All it stands to do is injure your player for the future game. It doesn't give them any star player points. It doesn't give them any tactical advantage on the pitch. You know, that's or shoving a player into the crowd on the 16th turn. I mean, there's no tactical benefit for you to do that. So for me, that would be a negative. Now, there's some people for whom that wouldn't be the case. You know, so this isn't, you know, these marks don't make up a massive amount, but, you know, I think it is an important thing to consider. And I do try and always think, would I irritate myself with what I'm doing? So if I throw a pass that's going to land a touchdown, you know, sportsmanship isn't about going, oh dear, you know, I missed that pass that would have won me the game. You know, we're all gonna, well, in my view, everyone's gonna go, oh no, oh crap. But if you leave it at that and you carry on, well then what's the harm in that? That's sport. I do the same thing when I'm watching the rugby. It's when it goes on and on, for me, that it irritates me. But everyone is subjective. You know, now if you want to post something that says, you know, for me this is what makes a good game, for me this is what makes a bad game, fine, brilliant. Let your opponents know. You know, some people really enjoy trash talk. Some people don't. You know, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Just, you know, make sure that you submit your scores after the game. All scores will be completely private and not mentioned to anyone. The sportsmanship scores will be released at the end of the league as a total, and that's it. And if there's any serious issues or whatever like that, I'm the league commissioner, so just message me and, you know, we'll sort it out one-to-one. Okay? So, to run down, you can play your game, first round games from now. Do not play your second round games until it is announced. Submit your sportsmanship scores privately to me when you finish your match. Best of luck to everyone, and I'm really enjoying this league so far. I really feel like we've got some really interesting dream teams and some good bets, and I'm really looking forward to watching the replays and plucking out some of the best moments. Okay, best of luck to all.